that being said, I'd like to introduce our speaker for this month, Mr. Jamey Shannon.
Okay,
He lives Jamey
get a
lives
little.
in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and he holds degrees from Mississippi State University, Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, and the University of Southern Mississippi. Wow! And he's
Studied in
additionally studied
Dallas.
at Berkeley School of Music in Boston. And he's currently a music professor at Mississippi Delta Community College, where he teaches music theory, commercial music theory, songwriting, surveying of popular music, music appreciation, and private studio guitar, bass, and voice lessons. Wow, he's a busy guy. And he began his songwriting career with the release of a CD that he put out called Something I've Got to Say. And he's got some original songs that are scheduled to be released that he's done with Steve Azar, who's a prominent musician in Nashville and Mississippi's music ambassador. So anyway, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jamey Shannon. Hello,
Hey,
Jamey.
thanks, guys. Hey, and thanks for having me. Great introduction. I appreciate that. Thanks a bunch, and I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this tonight. It's a lot of fun. I've been watching all your virtual things since about so glad to be here tonight. I'm going to set this up a little bit, and then we're going to pull some real charts. These charts I'm going to pull up in a little while are not something that somebody made up after the fact, but they were actually the original charts that were used to record these songs. So they're pretty interesting to look at, just in that fact. They're common songs everybody's going to know, and you're going to go, oh, wow, that's the charts they used to record this way back when or whatever, which is kind of fun. The reason people do this is called commercial music theory officially, but everybody in the business just calls it National Number System. That's kind of what we do. That's our shorthand for it. You say, why do we even mess with this? Well, if you ever have a chance where there's a house band as a songwriter, and you've got your songs in this format, pull them out, give them to the house band. Professional musicians will, man, they'll play it first time. It'll be a lot of fun. And then, like all of us, we have dreams of getting something cut. I'd love to get some cuts one day, and this is how you do it. Anywhere from a scratch cut, just for you, so that you can evaluate, you can show it to your friends, you can show it to everybody at the Dallas songwriters and see what they think, all the way to the point where you get this song that you think maybe this one might go somewhere. Maybe this is the one. And at that point, you're gonna, of course, you want a professional demo done with professional band, professional singer, and you're for sure gonna want it in this format. So that's kind of the background. Let me just run through. I'm sure some of you are real familiar with this, and I'm going to be way below you here. You're going to be way past where I am, but I'm going to kind of start at square one just to do that. And then at this point, I'm going to pull up some charts, and that's where it's going to be fun. I'll just kind of show you what they are and what they do, and I'll try to answer any questions you have, and we'll just have a good time. If you got questions, just let me know. Let me pull up my guitar here. And first, just go through just how this thing works. There's nothing to it. Every chord has a number. They're 1 through 7 in a key. Of all your chords that are what we call diatonic to the key. I'll use C because it's easy. No sharps and flats. Your 1 is going to be a C. It's going to be a major most of the time. Your 2 is going to be a D minor. Your 3 is going to be an E minor most of the time. Your 4 is going to be an F. Your 5 is going to be a G. Your 6 is going to be an A minor. Your 7, which you hardly ever see, ever see, is going to be a diminished, a B diminished chord. Usually when you see it in practice, it's flattened. It's flattened and it's a major, and there's a lot of theory behind that you don't want me to go into. It's got to do with a 5 and that kind of stuff. But if we do it right, it's a diminished chord, which leads you right back, revolves right back into the 1. So that's kind of how the system works. That's the basic format of it. And it's not based on a key. And the reason it's not based on the key is we change keys all the time. You got a song that you think it's going to go. You got a professional guy that's going to come in and record this and sing it for you. He is probably not going to sing it in the key you sang it in. All right, they're going to move it. So they don't want a chart with a bunch of words and chords written over the top of them. They're probably not going to do that key. Even when you record it, a lot of times the engineer or the producer in there is going to say, hey, try from me a half step higher. Let's see what that does to the energy level. Or you got this really cool ballad in 6, and he goes, man, that's really warm and pretty well. Take it down a step and warm up the voice. Let's see what happens. And you just play around with stuff like that. And this number system makes it where those key changes are so simple. You just change the one chord and play the whole system all the way through. So, Harry, I'm gonna quit talking, and we're gonna get to it. I'm gonna try to pull up a chart. There we go. Have you got it?
Yeah, you're co-hosted now. It ought to work.
You see a chart? We got the chart?
Nope, don't see a chart yet.
No chart yet.
Are you sharing?
Have to share your screen.
Sharing screen.
Hang on. Let me find.
Go to the bottom of that and do share screen. It's probably green. Probably a green button at the bottom of the Zoom application where you see our pictures.
Now let's see if we can pull it up. All right, how about now?
No. When you do share screen, you have options, and one of them is desktop, and that's the one you want to pick. But then you also, if you're going to play any music on it, you want to pick the sound, audio at the bottom left-hand corner. There'll be audio and video. If you're going to show any video or audio, you want to pick those two buttons too, as well as share the desktop.
Okay. We did this when we actually practiced on Wednesday, and it came right up.
Well, that's all right. You might stop if you're sharing your screen and it didn't work. Just do stop share, and there we go. We got your desktop now. Now we can see it.
You can see it. All right,
yeah,
we pulled it off. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is Johnny Be Good. It's Chuck Berry. It's in. Let's look at the big picture first.
Michael plays that one all the time.
It is. Now this is the original chart we used. It is. It's in the key of B flat, and you look at the big picture first. All right, we're in the key of B flat, and then you look at the form. We got an intro, we got a verse, we got a chorus, we got a verse, we got a chorus, and then we got 2 solos. We got a solo 1 and a solo 2 up at the top of the page, and then a verse and a chorus, and then we're out. Now, another good thing about this is when you put it in this form, it makes you decide on your form. Sometimes as songwriters, I do it all the time. I'll go all over the place. I'll change the form on the fly, live. But when you put it in this form, it kind of locks you into, this is what my song's going to be. It's what it's going to be. It's how it's going to come out. It's what it is. All right, let's look. We're in the key of B flat. So our one chord is going to be B flat. We start off with a 1. You see in the intro the X over the 3rd chord?
Yeah.
That means you play that chord and you don't play it the whole measure. Each number represents a measure. Now, when I pull up the next one, I'm going to show you how to do 2 or 3 chords in the same measure. But in this one, I started with it because it's basic 3-chord song. This one, every number is a measure. All right, so if I'm going to do this, I go 1, 1, and bump. 2, 3, 4, da 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 da. Now I'm on the 4 chord. Now I'm on the 2nd line, the 1 chord. Now I'm on the 5, 4, and 1. And now I'm to the verse. Everybody see where I am?
Yeah.
Da 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 da. To the 4, which is the E flat. back to the B flat, which is the 1. Now I'm going to go to the 5, which is the F. 2 measures of 5, and back to the 1. Okay.
Go.
Now, I'm sorry.
Just said go.
Go. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Look up at the top of the page where it says solo 2. It does the same thing for solo 1, but I don't have to scroll down to do it. So let's just look at solo 2. I got a 1 chord with an X, which means I'm just going to hit it once, but I'm going to count 4 beats. I've got a 4 chord with an X, so I'm going to hit it once, and I'm going to let it go for 4 beats. Then I've got 2 half notes, so I'm going to play 2 half notes, and then I'm going to play 4 quarters in the last measure. Do you see how they designated the rhythm?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's not necessarily always exact rhythm when you do it, but it tells all your session players something different's going to happen there. Something's different's going to pay attention to the songwriter. We got something going on. So if I were to play under solo 2, and you guys all know what that solo sounds like, it's classic. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And take off. So you see how they put that notation down so that everybody would nail that together, even if they didn't know this song and hadn't ever heard it before. Now, at the very end, you see the last chorus? It ends on a 1 chord, and then it's got a 1 chord that's in a diamond. See that at the very end?
Yes.
Okay, the diamond means you play that 1 chord and you it's got a fermata, and if it has a fermata, then
Okay,
what
hang
you're
on
going
a
to look for
minute.
at the end of the song, you're going to look for a guitar player or a drummer or somebody to are we good?
Okay.
We're going to look for somebody.
Explain
to
the
cut you off.
diamond. Go back and start with the diamond again. Oh, we kind of
Okay.
lost you a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The diamond means you just let it ring. I'm going to play that last line. So you got 5 chord, 5 chord, 5 chord, and 1 chord, 1 chord. And it's going to ring till it stops on its own. Now, if it were to be a fermata, then it would be like what we call garbage can ending, where we would all go to that 1 chord. We would look at the drummer, we'd look at the guitar player, we'd look at the band leader, and we'd wait for somebody to cut us off together if it were a fermata. But if it's a diamond, then you just play it and let it go to its either natural ending or till you play the next chord. And of course, it'll cut in. Let's scroll down. We kind of done this one. It's the intro. There's some more interesting things down.
Now, what do you say?
Can you back up a little bit? Just a minute. We didn't see the bottom. Okay. So solo 1, we couldn't see that on the computer.
Okay.
When you had it down, it was down in the bar and behind the bar.
Okay.
So
solo
same
1.
thing. Okay.
And then it goes right into solo 2, which is the same thing.
All right.
And then ends.
I have a question here. You said this is the actual chord chart. You mean this is the one they actually use, or this is a copy of one they
it's a copy.
Oh, okay.
But it's an exact copy. I mean, it's not a copy like somebody wrote it out. It's a photocopy. It's in the handwriting of who did it. That's why you'll notice every one looks different. It's in the handwriting of this one, Amarillo by Morning. It may be George Strait or whoever wrote it out. But yeah, every one of them is different. But they are the original charts that were used to record the song.
Jamey,
Yes.
expand your screen. Like we did the other day in our practice session. You clicked on the little green dot up there. Yeah,
I gotcha.
That'll help a little bit. Yeah.
That helped? Okay, good. All right, let's look at this one. Okay, we're in the key of D, and we really don't have time to go through and teach all the key signatures. But we were saying when we were getting together on the chat, if you're not familiar with your key signatures, that's no problem with this system. I work with a lot of people that carry a circle of fifths. They laminate it, put it in their wallet, their billfold, their purse. They carry it with them. And if you remember that the key of D has an F sharp and a C sharp in it, just pull the chart. It's simple. It's simple. Just one little page. You can just pull the chart and carry it with you and pull it out and remind you, what key we're in. But this one, it's got the key. We've got an intro. We got a verse. and we got a turnaround back to the verse. Then we got another turnaround that's going to lead to a key change. Now, this is an old song, and when this was written, key changes were in. Key changes were the thing. Right now, the songs that I'm trying to get out there, if I put a key change in it, they throw it away and they send it back to me. They are not interested in a key change right now. But it's circular. It's circular. They'll come back. They'll be back. But this song has a key change in it, but it was in the era when almost every song had a key change in it. All right, let's look at some things that are different in this one. This one's pretty fun. Okay, it starts with a 1 chord in the key of D, which is going to be my D, right? And look, it's got a 3 with a minus. The minus means
minor.
The minus means minor. Okay, so the minus means minor. So I'm going to go to the 3 chord minor, which is going to be an F sharp minor. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the 4 chord in the key of D, which is going to be a G, regular old G, and then the 5 chord, which is going to be an A. Okay, so if I were to play that first line, if you guys are familiar with Amarillo by Morning, it's going to kind of sound like it. It's going to go D, F sharp minor, G, to an A. It repeats. So I got my D again, second line. I'm going to F sharp minor, my 3 chord. Then I got the 4, which is a G, and then my 5, and then I got a 5 and a diamond. So I'm going to let it ring. And then we're waiting for the first verse. Amarillo by morning. Then I'm back into the tune. So that makes sense. Sometimes I talk fast. Stop me if you need to. Interesting things here now. In the verse, I've got the 1. Then I'm going to the minor 3, which is my F sharp minor. All right, everybody follow me?
Yeah.
Then the 4 chord in D, which is going to be a G, and then I'm going back to the 1. Now, same thing in the next line of the verse. I got the 1, I got the minor 3, F sharp, then I got my G, which is my 4, and then I'm going to go to the 5 this time instead of the 1. Now, this third line, it's really cool. We get to learn something different here. All right, my 4 chord has a triangle and a 7. It's kind of hard to see. You got to look close, but these are original charts. We could have typed them all out, but it kind of loses some of the coolness when it's all typed out. This is the real thing, and it's kind of fun to have the real thing. So you see a 4, and you see a triangle and a 7. That's what that is. When you see a triangle after a chord and the 7, then that's a major 7. Not a dominant 7th like we'd usually play, like a G7 or C7 or E7. That's a major 7. And it sounds like this. So that is a 4 major 7. So that's a G major 7. So that's a G major 7. Okay? And then I'm going to go to the 5 chord, which is an A. Okay, and this next chord is very important. It's underlined. The underlining is super important. If it's underlined, then those 2 chords go in the same measure, like half notes. They go in the same measure. So those go in the same measure, and then I go back to the 4 chord, which is a G. So if I were to play that line, I would go G major 7 to an A, and then I got D, F sharp minor, G. You see how those 2 went in the same?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You follow me? Okay.
Yes.
So then I go to the next line, and I've got a 1, which is my D, and then I go to 5, which is my A, and then look, I got 2 chords in the same measure again. Okay, so I got to go 4, 5, right, in the same measure, and now I'm going into this turnaround. So I go turnaround 1. So I got my 1 chord, back to the F sharp, you got it, G, and back to the A, and now I'm back at the verse. I repeat it. You got it. So I'm right back at the verse, and I play that whole thing again. Now when I get to the 4th line of the verse, where I got my 4 chord, 5 chord in the same measure, then I go to the second turnaround. All right, the second turnaround. So then I've got 1 again. I got my 3, which is my F sharp minor. You got my 4, which is my G. Okay, this could be confusing, but when you make a chord a minor, the minus is always after it. That's not a minor 6. That's a major. That's a minor 3 and a major 6. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back in the same measure. So I'm going to play the minor 3, which is the F sharp minor, and then I'm going to play a major 6, which is going to be a B. And the reason I played that B is the 5 of what? It's a 5 of E, and I'm about to change keys.
Yeah.
I'm about to see, it says modulation up 1 step to the verse to E. So I went to that B, which is my 6th chord, and it takes me right into a new key, E. And then I go to the G sharp. Now my 3 is a G sharp minor. So it's a G sharp minor. And now my 4 is an A. And now my 1 is an E. Okay, so y'all got it. I'm boring you now. All right, questions? Does it make sense?
Yes. Good.
Yeah, it does. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay.
So
go
on that,
down. I've changed keys. Okay, I've changed keys. I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I want you to see this. We've got another measure with a different notation. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Look at the verse after we've modulated to E. You see where we are? It says modulation up 1 step and then verse. Okay, look at the 3rd line, the one that's got a 1, 4, 5 all underlined. The last measure of the 3rd line.
Yeah.
Now I've got 3 chords in this measure. Okay, so I got the 1 for 2 beats, the 4 for 1 beat, and the 5 for 1 beat. So that's what those dots mean, and that's what that notation is. So I've got my 1 chord in E, and then I go 4, 5, which is just A and B. So you got your 1 chord for 2 beats, 4, 5, 1. It sounds like it, doesn't it? Sounds like the song.
Yeah.
Right back into it. So that's an interesting notation. Whenever you see something underlined, all those chords go in the same measure. They all go in the same measure all the way through.
are you ultimately going to show us if a chord is like a beat and a half?
Yes, there is a way to do that. There is a way to do that. And the way they do that is they would draw, I don't think I've got one in here. I may later on. They would draw a quarter note in a dot, just like standard notation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what they would do. They would draw a quarter note and a dot above it. But really, these aren't absolutely exact. What they really tell the bass player, the guitar player, the drummer, everybody's got this same chart. What they tell you is you look at that, they go, something else is going to happen. Pay attention. Pay attention. Well, we're about to do something. We're about to change 3 chords in the same measure. And a lot of times you just hear it. You all sit in a chair and play the chart through one time before they turn on the mics. Now, they say they do that, but this is just an aside. This is really funny. We'd all sit in the chairs. Nobody's really plugged in. Nobody really thinks they're playing the song. We just play it all through one time on the chart, so everybody gets a feel for what it is. If there's something odd like that, a beat and a half or something, that we get it. I've had so many engineers that will turn its system on while you're doing that. They say, we're trying to capture the magic, and sometimes when you guys are relaxed and not paying attention, I get something really cool that I can use later on. So sometimes they turn on the mics when nobody thinks the mics are on, and I've had that happen to me more than once. It's kind of interesting and trying to gather some stuff. All right, let's go to Beatles soon. What do you think?
Good. Well, you might ask, just in case, I didn't know if you at the very beginning explained the repeat sign.
Yes, let me do that.
You did.
Let me do that. Let me go back and do it. That's really important. Okay, we got to the verse, and you see there's a repeat sign there before the 1 chord. All right, we're going to go all the way down through the first turnaround, and there's the repeat sign facing the other way. Now we're going to repeat the verse. We're just going to go back to the verse. Now, a really good chance is that the words are different. The lyrics are different. This is for players. So the lyrics may very well not be the same, but the chord progression is. So we're going to go back to where the verse starts, the other sign of the repeat sign. And when we get to the fourth line, the 4 to 5 chord that's underlined, we skip the first turnaround and you go to the second turnaround, the second ending. You're going to go to the second turnaround. And when you go to that second turnaround, that's where you have the minor 3 go into the 6, which is a B, which sets you up for the key change, modulation up. Once that sets you up for the key change for the 1 chord on the verse. That makes sense?
Yes, thank you.
I
Very
get
much.
it. I get it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Could you
All right.
play
Hey,
that?
don't let me go too long. I'm
Could
a
you play
teacher.
that song? Just play it through one time, so I can.
Sure. I'll try to. I'm not a session player.
Well, no, I just want to see you. I just want to follow, like, watch you play it.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Here we go. Okay, this is intro. 1 chord. I'm on the second line. 1. F sharp minor. G. A. And now the diamond. And now I'm waiting for the singer. Amarillo, morning. Now I'm going back to the 1. Now I'm 1 to the minor 3, 4. And this is odd right here. He put in an extra chord, an extra measure. Wait, oh, sorry. A to. I'm on the first turnaround. Now I'm back to the top of the verse. Da, 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 da. Minor 3, 4, 2, a 1. Now I'm 1 to the minor 3, to the F sharp minor, to a 4, to a 5, and now I got an extra 5, which is odd, but that's in the song. Now a G major 7 to an A, and then I got in the same measure 4 chord. Now I got 1, 5. Now I'm going to go to the second turnaround. 4, 5, and 1, 3, 4. Now here we go. And key change. Da, 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 da. Now I'm a G sharp minor. Where'd I go? That's it. 4, 1. Okay, makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
How was
Cool.
that, Chris?
Yeah, thank you. That was
Yeah,
good.
sure.
That was good. That was fine. I just wanted to see it flow in the chord as he's changing, as he's reading this out. It's like,
Sure. No, I absolutely get it. Like I said, I'm
but
not.
I got a little lost because I guess you repeat and go back to the first verse and then come back around before you make the key change, right?
Yes.
That's correct.
Is that what that is? The 2 dots with the 2 lines? That's a
Yes. That's the
Yes.
repeat sign. Yes.
Yes, the 2 dots with the 2 lines is the repeat sign. And it's
And you said not to let you go too long, but what you're talking about is very interesting. So you're not under a time constraint.
okay. Well, tell me when I tell me when I go too far, and I'll answer some questions. I don't want to keep you guys too long tonight. But let's if we're good with this one, we'll want to move on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Here we go. This is, I wanted to show you this one. I brought this one mostly because of the ending and the outro. This song is really common, but there's just 2 things on here that are new to this one. Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. Da, 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 da. Great tune. you see the four measures of one and then a dot and four measures of one? Okay, that is another way. Usually these charts are put together in four measure phrases. That's another way to save paper. And that's all it is. When you put a dot, that dot means nothing for the player. It means there's a new four measure phrase. It kept you from putting the second set of ones underneath. Normally the second set of ones will go under the first set of ones in four measure phrases. It just keeps everything straight to be four measure phrases. Musicians like four measure phrases. We like it. It feels right to us. But what they did is put a dot and they put two four measure phrases on the same line, which is perfectly acceptable in the Nashville system. So when you see a dot like that, don't try to play the dot. It just means that's a new four measure phrase. That's all there is. The dot really means nothing. It just means instead of hitting the return key, they just went ahead across the page. You see some minor ones in the chorus, which are kind of odd. This is in the key of E. So when we get down to the third line of the chorus, we've actually got that changes to E minor. We got some minuses after it, which gives us a minor chord. And the second set of four of the chorus, you've got E minor, and then a step up. You've got E minor, F sharp minor, and then you go to the 5 chord, which would be a B. Makes sense? Now, what I really wanted to show you in this one, too, is it ends with a fermata. Go to the very last chord on the whole page. See the fermata? Was that the bird's eye? The little cover with the dot?
Yes.
Okay, when you see that, you are all going to keep playing till somebody cuts you off. It'll be a band leader. Like if you're putting your song and you want them to do this big garage band garbage can ending, and you want to cut them off, then what you're going to do is you're going to put a fermata on there so that everybody playing knows, keep that going till you come. Different than a diamond. Diamond you're going to once and just let it fade out. Or when the next chord comes, you play it again. On the fermata, you're looking for somebody to cut you off. So you're going to want that. I really want to show you what a push is before I quit talking. And I think there's some pushes here. Oh yeah, this is really cool. This will probably take the rest of our time. All right. Here we go. We got another Beatles song up. Everybody see that? In My Life.
There are places I remember.
You got it. That's it. All right. If you remember, it starts off with this cool little guitar lick at the beginning on the intro. So we're in the key of A.
Dum dum da 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 dum.
That's it. Yeah, very nice. We're in the key of A. So we start with a 1 chord, which is going to be an A. And then look, we go to a 5 suspended. Now, when they write just suspended, S-U-S, they're talking about a suspended 4th. Now, you can actually have a suspended 2nd, it's used all the time. You can actually have a suspended 9, used all the time in music. If they want the 2 or they want the 9, they're going to write S-U-S-2 or S-U-S-9. But if it says S-U-S and nothing, they're talking about the suspended 4th. Which suspended 4th, that's that we use it all the time in a D chord. With your little finger, put that on, that's a suspended 4th. And that's what's going on. Now, the reason I put this chart in, is you see the little, I don't know what to call it, the little mark over the 5. It looks like an accent mark, kind of, except it's pointed to the side. See that little V? Sitting on his side?
It's a greater than sign.
Yeah, there you go. A greater than sign. Thank you. That's exactly, that's actually what I'm talking about. Okay, that is what is called on a chart is a push. And it's really cool. A push means I'm going to rush that chord just a little. Not enough to put, to go to the measure before and put an 8th note or a 16th note or anything. It's not measurable. It's just a push. You just play it a little early. I've got a habit when I'm recording, I push all the time. I make engineers really, really mad. They go, stop, play with the click, stop pushing, you're pushing. And I just get excited and I push. But this is on purpose. Okay, so I'm going to play the one chord, which is an A, and then I'm going to play D suspended. This is that intro that goes over that little guitar solo. And I'm going to play it just a hair early. All right, just a hair early. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm rushing. I'm just rushing that 5 suspended just a hair. Just a hair. Just enough to make the guy that's running the click in the studio mad. You're just going to, just a hair, just a little bit. But it gives it energy. And it's cool. And artists use it all the time. They use it all the time. And if that push is written in there, then a good producer engineer knows you meant to do it. They're looking at these charts too, and they're not saying, "Oh, you rushed that chord." They know it's a push. They know you wrote it in there. They know you meant to push it. So it's not going to fit perfectly with the click, and that's perfectly okay. All right, this is real cool. I want to go through this verse, and then it's got so much stuff in it. It's probably going to be enough for where we're going tonight. Okay, so I'm to the verse once again. Look, we got the repeat sign again. See the repeat sign? We're going to repeat this verse.
Oh yeah.
So there's the repeat sign. We know that right up front. We see that sign. We go, oh, we're going to play this twice. So we've got a 1 in A. So we got a 5. Which is going to be in the key of A. What have we got going here? We got
E.
E, that's right. So we got an A. You can tell I didn't rehearse any of these. So we got an A, and we're going to the E. And then we're going to go to a 6 minor. So we're back to that F sharp minor again.
No.
Okay. And now look at this next chord. This is pretty interesting. It's a push. I'm going to play it early, and I've got a 1 chord with a flat 7 in the bass. Now, this is where people get confused. The flat 7 is not related. Well, it is, because it's the 1 chord. It totally messes me up. I hate it's the 1 chord. I think we get to one later where it's not. The 7, the flat 7's got to do with the key. It's got to do with the key, not the chord. Like if it says it's if it was a 5 chord, for instance, then you're not looking for the flat 7 of the 5. You're looking for the flat 7 of the key. So I've got a 1 chord, which is an A. My 7 is a G sharp. My flat 7 is going to be a G. So I'm going to play an A chord with a G in the bass, and I'm going to push it. That makes sense?
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do it. Okay, so I got A, E. That was that whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did is I played the 1, I played the 5 in the same measure, I played the minor 6, and then I played a 1, which is an A with a G in the bass, over the flat 7 of the key, which is a G, and I pushed it a little bit, and then I got a 4, which is a D, and then I got a D minor, and then I got an A. All right, that's a whole bunch of stuff right there in one line. That is a bunch of Nashville number system right there. If we're not used to doing this, that could really kind of throw you for a loop right there. But and now look what we got next. I got a diamond. So I got a F sharp minor. I'm just gonna let it ring. Then I got a 4, which is a D. I'm just gonna let it ring. Now I got a flat 7 chord in the key of A, and I was talking about that at the beginning. Your chord in the key of A would be a G sharp diminished, your 7, but you hardly ever use it. You hardly ever use it in popular music. You usually use a G chord, but I'm back to rhythm. I'm not a diamond anymore. I'm back to my 4 beats, and then A. So that third line would be. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah, it kind of does. I've got the same thing coming up. I've got a minor 6 with a diamond. I'm going to let it ring. Now I got a 2, not a minor 2, a major 2. So I got a B. I'm going to let it ring. Then I got a minor 4, which is going to be a D minor. And then I got a 1, which is going to be an A. And then I'm going to play the first ending, which is going to be an A to that G suspended push. A to the G suspended push. Well, there it is. Just a little bit early. I'm going to go to that. And now I'm repeating back to the top.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that whole verse again. And then when I get down to that third line, when I get down to the minor 6, to the major 2, which is a B, to the minor 4, which is a D minor, to the 1, which is an A, I'm going to skip the first ending. I'm going to skip that 1 and 5, and I'm going to go to the second ending. And I'm going to play a 1 and 5 in the same measure, the minor 6 to that 1 over the flat 7, which is going to be the A over the G, just like I did before. So anyway, that is probably too much information in one song. That is probably too much stuff. I've gone on an hour. Okay, let me stop with that one. I got some more, but let me stop with that one. If you ever want me back, I'll come do it again. We can get my email and stuff out there. If you want to put your songs in this form, you want to run it by me, you want me to put it in this form for you, you can shoot me an email and I'll help you get it like you want it, so that you can, hand it out and use it and record it or whatever. I think you got to do it yourselves. I mean, it's not that hard. But if you have any questions, if there's anything I can answer, I'll be glad to do it. And guys, I can't tell you again how much I appreciate getting to be here tonight. Just thanks for letting me be here with you guys.
I had a quick question about so each number is a measure.
That's correct.
But I guess the question I have is, how do you communicate like strum patterns? Like, you can play 4 beats of a chord a lot of different ways, as you know, where the quarter notes or that sort of thing. So is there a way in the system to do strum patterns?
There really isn't. There's not a way that's accepted now. People try to write it on there, with little lines and stuff, just to try to be clear. But as far as the system goes, there's not an established way to do a strum pattern. Usually the way these things happen, the way I've ever done them in my time that I've done them, is you hand everybody in the room the sheet. Drummer, bass player, both guitar players, producer, engineer, singer, everybody in the room, you hand them a sheet. We usually, before we're supposed to be recording, we all sit in a chair just in a circle, and we just play the song. And they say, "Okay, Jamey, play one of your songs." And I go, "Okay." So I go, da 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 da, and we're just all sitting around in the chairs. They're following the chart, but they hear stuff popping up. That they hear the strum pattern. They just hear it while we're all sitting around in a circle, and they just all hear it. And then we go, "Okay, I don't know what this is." Let's say, "Okay, we are ready to record." So then everybody's had one time through to hear your song, hear the strum pattern, see where you want them to go. But to answer your question, there is not an established, accepted system to put the strum pattern in. That's one thing. You just have to play through the song once.
Jamey, let me say that you've been incredibly informative, entertaining, and we would very much like to have you back at a future date for the rest of the story.
I'd be glad to do that anytime. Yes.
Bill had a question earlier. I want him to get his question in. Bill, you had a question earlier?
Yeah. When you were playing guitar and not knowing the number system and not recognizing what relative pitch was, how did you make the leap to understanding the numbers? Can you explain when you went from not knowing the numbers system to not knowing the number system when you went from not knowing the number system to actually getting a handle on it.
Yes, I'll answer that question. I just eased into it, and I'm just talking about myself personally now.
That's what I meant.
I just eased into it. Like, I learned really early on, what a 1-4-5 progression is, which is what we all play all the time in every key, G, C, and D. 1, 4, and 5 in the key of G. So I learned what that was, and I actually thought, and the novice and silly person I was as a youngster, I knew what 1, 4, and 5 was, and I said, "Oh, I know the national number system." I couldn't even start the national, but I thought I did. I mean, I thought I knew it was 1, 4, and 5, and then I started working in this system, and actually, I guess to answer your question, I kind of learned it as a player by fire. I was handed these things, and I was too embarrassed to say, I don't know what a triangle is. So I listened to everybody else and got through it as good as I could do it. And then I went home and I Googled what I didn't know. And I figured it out just a little bit at a time through that. And like I said, the theory part's not a problem. I got music degrees from way back, and I did that. So I didn't have any trouble understanding the theory. I just didn't know the number system. I just didn't know how that worked. But to answer your question, it's largely trial by fire. I love this business. I just love it. I love the music business. I love to talk about it. I love to talk to people about it. I love to be with people that do it well. I tell you the coolest story. I was at Steve Azar's house, and I know I need to shut up. I was at Steve Azar's house the other day, and the guy that I work with, and he's a super guy, by the way. And I was going in just to ask him a couple about a song, show him a new song, and out walked Marty Stewart. Marty Stewart came out, and I was like, I didn't really know what to say. And Marty was at his house picking up an old guitar of Steve's to put in the Mississippi Music Hall of Fame in Meridian, which they're just opening up, and that Marty's really into that. And he was picking up a guitar to go there, and I was kind of speechless. But Marty Stewart just acted like I was just I'm a nobody, but he just acted like I was a peer. And we just talked for 15 or 20 minutes. I can tell you guys, I just love that. I love that. I just loved being in those circles with musicians and talking music, and I don't belong in that league by any means, but it's just so much fun. I love doing this. So I love being able to share this stuff with you guys. And really, I got off the subject of what we're talking about. My answer is trial by fire. That's how I learned to do it.
Jamey, this is Harry. I have a question. You teach this. You teach the number system in college, correct?
I do. It's a college course that lasts for 17 weeks.
My question is, what is the prerequisite for a student to take your course? Is there one?
There is none for a music major. It's a music major course, so we expect a music major to come in, with some degree of musical knowledge. Very few music majors we ever had that come in that just don't know anything. So they're going to come in with some. I teach both kinds of theory here at the school. If you're going into arts and entertainment industry, which is a branch of our music department, you're going to learn to run live sound. You're going to learn to run Pro Tools. You're going to learn to work in the studio. You're going to learn lights. You're going to learn music industry stuff that's going to put you hopefully a job in the music business when you leave us. If there's also a theory that I teach, it's just music theory. And that's like if you want to be a teacher, you want to go into another college, you want to sing at the Metropolitan Opera, it's the legit theory. So there's legit theory, and then there's commercial theory. And the students are very different. My commercial theory students are all guys that plays in bands and sings and plays in clubs and does what I do. The other theory people, a little bit different track, but there is no prerequisite. There is no prerequisite, but to preface that too, they do come in with some knowledge. I don't have students that come in as a music major and I go, have to tell them what a C chord is. I mean, they know that a C chord is a C, E, and G, and there's some background there to begin. So, did I answer that?
Yeah, yeah. I remember a long time ago, the first time I heard anyone talking about the number system, it was kind of sold on the fact that you didn't have to be able to read music to know the system. Yeah. So, and I was just curious if that still applies.
It still applies.
I would think most people would have some kind of music knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, you do not have to read music. I mean, you do not have to read music to be able to do it, but you do need some chord theory background. I mean, just to know, like, it's the 1 chord and the 5 chord and the 6 minor, some background. But see, that can easily be taught. And really, like I said before, you can almost get you a copy off the internet of the Circle of Fifths, laminate it, keep it with you, and you can fake your way through a lot of sessions with this stuff without actually memorizing all the keys and key signatures.
Yeah. Good program.
Hey, good.
I loved it.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Jamey.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't go too long.
No, this was wonderful.
This is short.
Great. And we hope to see you at some of the Zoom sessions, with the songs and stuff. Yeah, look at that crowd. Thank you, Jamey.
Hey, well, I'm planning on it. I've been listening to you guys, and I would love to join you on some of your virtual things and even some of your live things. I'd love to do that. If you guys would allow me to do that, I'd love to do it.
You're now a member.
All right, thank you.
So,
Okay, Jamey, you need to unshare your screen now. Maybe I need to do that for you. Let's see if I need. Yeah, I need to stop participation. Okay, there we go. Now you're back.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, Jamey and I practiced this yesterday, didn't we?
We did. We practiced it, and